Most places you can just walk right in, start lighting off. Other places you don't want to have to walk through to get in there. So you got to find another way to put fire in there. And there is. Most people use a thing called a pyro shot. They're pretty expensive, cheap to shoot, but there are other methods too. I'm going to show you how. Alright, so let's go ahead and make one. So, standard regular paper hole. I'm going to take a piece of red cardboard, because what I got. Punch out a hole on there. That one sucked. Alrighty, pull that off. Got our paper. I'm going to stick it in one side. Little Harbor Freight flashlight, which just happens to be the absolute perfect size for it. I'm going to drop it down, peel off a little bit of edge. I'm going to push it up to about like that. I don't know, maybe 3/8 down, 1/4 inch down, somewhere around that. That'll be your lift cup for it right there. Once that's in place, we're going to dump a lot of hot glue in there to get it sealed in. And I probably got maybe a 1/2 inch of hot glue in there. Let that cure up. Then we'll need to punch a hole in the bottom of it. And if you got a soldering iron, that would work pretty good right there. If I'm doing a bunch, that's what I'll use, but I got a screwdriver and a lighter. Just heat it up, push it through. That'll get me my hole. The hole needs to be, for this one, I'm going to use a 3mm safety fuse, so it needs to be big enough to accept that. Alright, so now that that part's ready to go, I got, this is the potassium pertagamite and just antifreeze right here. These are in soda pop straws, or just regular straws. The kind you get from Walmart, they're just not that great. These are like regular restaurant style ones you get from restaurants. These are your best ones here. Basically, you pour the tube up, leave a little air hole. I use this right here. It's a bag sealer. It's more of like, I guess, a commercial style one. These actually aren't that expensive at all. They're pretty cheap for what they are. Really useful. But anyways, I use that to seal these up, this and this. So a little bit of just Christmas wrapping tape type stuff. I use this tape because it's really thin, burns up nicely. Bust me off a piece. So this is how the magic happens right here. I got the fuse in between both of these right here. So when that fuse burns up on there, it'll actually burn both of these open and causes them to mix. And I'm going to cut this off right about there, and I'll trim up the rest of it later on. So this is what it's going to look like then. Alright, next step, we do got that thing ready. So I got ping pong ball. Don't buy the dollar store ones. They're plastic. You need the real ones. They're made out of cellulose or something like that. They're flammable, so that helps out a lot with it too. I'll go ahead here in the bottom. Take my knife, and I'm going to cut across in the bottom of it like that. Kind of just push that in. I got to get this thing to fit in there, so that's the reason for it. The balls, they're a larger size than what the barrel is, so they won't fit. So you got to make it where it'll fit down in the cup. So to do that, I'll take the screwdriver here, and I'm going to press on 4 sides. I'm going to press a little groove just right in there, and it's going to fold in and shrink this thing right on down just beautifully, and then it will fit right in there then. A little snug, and that's fine. So I'm going to grab a little piece of tape. You can glue it in, I guess, just as easy, but you know, this works fine for me too. So, all right, now that's together-ish, as good as it's going to get. I'll throw another piece of little tape on that bottom end though, just to kind of hold that better. There you go. All right, cool. So run the fuse through that hole that you made in your lift cup. And we're going to just seat that on there. I'm going to use a little bit of tape here, not a whole lot, just to kind of hold it in place. So when I'm gluing it, it'll do its thing a little better. All right, get up under there though. Yeah. All right, and let that dry. All right, so put the primer in the casing here. A piece of paper towel that just kind of locks it in. Push it in flat. Tear off the paper. That keeps your primer from sliding out. So that's ready to go. I'm going to trim this fuse up. Fuse is wrapped with like a spiral wrap to it, so I try to cut along that wrapping right there at the base, a pretty daggone steep angle, boop, like that. That way when it sits down in there, that fuse is sitting right on top of the primer and ready to go that way. All right, let's powder it up. So for these, I'm not, just because these are for what I'm doing here, I'm not going to measure everything out. Yeah, about 50-55 grains is pretty good for the propellant. And I'm using a actual black powder, GoX. Oops, I almost forgot one important thing though. Before I put the powder in, I was supposed to do this, and I forgot to do this. Got to have the gasket on there. Rubber band gasket there. All right, cool. Now it's ready to come together. Twist it. You'll feel it kind of lock in, and I'll probably put a little bit of hot glue just around the edge of it, just to seal that up, keep it from bouncing out or whatever. But that's gonna be it. So that's one round ready to go.